Hi, welcome to Punch Perfect Boxing, and our video today is called The Skills of Andre Ward, Part 1. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be looking at the first Andre Ward versus Sergei Kovalev fight. Looking at the first 4 or 5 rounds, breaking them down, seeing the skills, techniques and setups that Andre Ward was using in that fight. Now for me, looking at that fight, there's a fascinating array of skills and techniques on show from Andre Ward. For me, he uses elements of Charlie Burley, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones, George Benton, and I think it's worth going over it and watching elite boxing at its highest level. So to start with, let's have a look at Andre Ward's opponent, Sergei Kovalev. Now at the time, Sergei Kovalev was arguably the most lethal puncher in boxing. He was a very aggressive, come-forward fighter, fought out of a wide stance, had a wonderful array of jabs, beautiful array of jabs, could throw jabs from low down, an up jab, could throw jabs from the chest area, and could throw jabs from a high active guard. He also had a wonderful vertical fist jab, which he would use to break through opponents who were in front of him with a tight guard. So a lovely up jab, vertical fist up jab, straight through the guard. He would often throw unusual combinations. He would often throw a lead right hand followed by a jab and then another right hand. Be very adept at shifting and would close you down very, very quickly, especially if you were backing off. You didn't want to back off with Sergei Kovalev because he would close you down very, very quickly. The other thing he liked to do was this lead leg, he liked to key it onto your centre line. So wherever you went, that's where he would focus that lead leg, and that's where he would set up his attack. If you look at Bernard Hopkins versus Sergei Kovalev, you'll see that Hopkins was continually moving the whole time. And I know a lot of people say this was running and stuff, but what he's trying to do, he's trying not to let Sergei Kovalev set his feet. Because if you let Sergei Kovalev set his feet and start to come forward on you in a straight line, that's when you're in trouble. And we'll look at the significance there. And we'll look at the significance of this in the Andre Ward fight. So let's get on to the fight. Now, when the fight started, there's a lot of kidology going on. There's a lot of head fakes, there's a lot of foot fakes, there's a lot of hand fakes. They're both trying to suss each other out. And let's have a little word on the importance of feints and fakes. Very important. It keeps your opponent guessing. You're not just there and you're not just throwing punches, you're feinting. They don't know when you're going to go, how you're going to set up your attack, what are you going to do. You're always keeping your opponent guessing. And when you see Andre Ward and Sergei Kovalev in this fight, the whole time they're faking, feinting, right the way through the whole fight. And it's a brilliant example of how to use fakes and feints. Right? Now, the first punch that Andre Ward threw in anger was this leaping left hook. And when I first saw it, I thought, my heart sank, because I thought, if you're going to take chances like that against Sergei Kovalev, then you're in serious trouble. But then, once I went back and reviewed the fight again, I saw the purpose of why he threw it. Now, Kovalev's there, Andre Ward takes a gazelle step outside and throws his leaping left hook, and he misses. Kovalev goes underneath it, and Andre Ward ends up here. Now, if you look at Andre Ward's body, it's angled against the punch, so he's still remaining defensively responsible, and his arm is across the body. So even though he's missed, he's still defensively responsible. It's not one of these wild misses when you're getting way out of position. He knew what he was doing. First of all, he's trying to get his range, his timing, his distance down, because he was going to use that punch in the remainder of the fight. So, good strategy, but like I said, once he's thrown it, you see that even though he missed, he was still defensively responsible. Now, the reason this is significant is because as the fight went on, you see that Andre Ward is giving Sergei Kovalev not just the fakes, the feints, the left hook, all this stuff. He's building a resume of attacks. He's building a load of attacks. He's giving Sergei Kovalev loads and loads of looks. Yeah? The next attack that Andre Ward does is he went down low and he starts to do the shifting in really fast. Didn't get his timing down very well, and it was stuffed by Sergei Kovalev. So, another look. The next one he was doing was stepping in and going down low and jabbing to the body. So, stepping in, going down low and jabbing to the body and getting out safely. Now, to pull that technique off once in a sparring session, I'd be happy. To pull it off multiple times, which is what Andre Ward did during the course of the fight, is exceptional. I think maybe once or twice he got caught. But like I said, you have to gauge the distance, the timing, the range absolutely perfectly. And it doesn't just come. You have to spend hours and hours drilling this in the gym. And this is one reason why you're in the gym all day, every day. You're working on your skills, you're working on your technique. Because these things become second nature, you learn the right time to do it. Yes, when you first start jabbing to the body, you're going to get caught. You know, there's nobody on this earth that hasn't been caught when they've tried to jab to the body for the first few times. But you learn, it comes by instinct. And in the end, you can do it in your sleep. But, like I said, to come in, to gauge the distance, to step in, to change the levels, and to pop that jab out is exceptional, and get out without getting hit. Now, I've seen a lot of people do it in the gym. They step in, they'll throw the jab, they'll pop the jab out, and they'll come straight up, and you're a sitting duck. When you've stepped in and you pop that jab in successfully, when you stepped in and pop that jab in successfully, then come up and out and slide out. Yeah? So again, another difficult technique to do. So Andre Ward's setting up all these techniques, setting up all these attacks, and first round comes to an end. So people like Andre Ward, Bernard Hopkins, Terence Crawford, Lomachenko for example, they'll usually take the first couple of rounds to have a scouting mission, to see what's going on, to see what techniques, what looks the other guy's giving them, if there's any openings, and then the second or third round they'll start to utilise these openings and to start to use the information that they've got. So the first round comes to an end, and don't get me wrong, Sergei Kovalev is having his successes, he's landing jabs, he would land jabs against any fighter. He's, like I say, he's a master of the jab, and he was landing a few other shots and stuffing some of Ward's attacks. Ward would slip under the jab also, and Kovalev would get him in a headlock, not let Ward work inside. So the fight was starting to build. So the second round comes, and for the first part of that round, for the first minute or so, it's pretty much the same. It's a continuation of the first round. Both fighters feeling each other out and just finding their way into the fight. Then what happens is Kovalev starts to find his range, his timing, his distance, and starts landing some good shots on Andre Ward. And he's forcing Andre Ward out of position. Andre Ward is backing off, and he backed off in straight lines. And Kovalev is very quick at cutting that distance down and landing shots. And even though Andre Ward is moving and deflecting the shots, ducking underneath some of them, he's getting hit quite a bit. Now, Andre Ward tries to fight back, but Kovalev's starting to get into a groove. Andre Ward made probably the biggest mistake of the fight. What he did, he got caught with a jab, allowed Kovalev to get the position on the outside of him, and tried to pivot and throw a right hand. Kovalev was already there, threw a right hand, and down went Andre Ward. Like I said, you never want to let a fighter get there and you have to pivot to throw a shot. It's the worst mistake I've ever seen Andre Ward make. And like I said, he was rattled, he was trying to respond with aggression, and he just made that one error. Like I said, got caught with a jab, let Kovalev just slightly outside, which he never did in the rest of the rounds at all. But he let Kovalev get that position on the outside and tried to respond with a right hand, and it didn't happen. Kovalev fired virtually the same shot, and down went Andre Ward. Andre Ward got up, shook himself down, but you know he's going to be under the cosh now for the rest of the round. Like I said, Kovalev was coming forward, he managed to duck down under Kovalev's punches and grab hold of him and try and neutralise as much as possible, but like I said, he was under the cosh. Now, when you've got a fighter like Kovalev, who's being aggressive and coming forward, finding his range, finding his distance, landing shots, being very aggressive, you've got to turn the tide somehow. Andre Ward, great conversation with Virgil Hunter. If you go and look at the video, listen to what Virgil Hunter says. It's some of the wisest words that I've ever heard in a corner, and some of the most iconic words. I won't say it for you, go and have a listen. We'll probably write it up at the end of this video. Now, when you come out for that third round, you have to turn the tide. Something has to change, and you have to make adjustments. And this is where great fighters come into their own. They make adjustments. Now we come to the start of the third round. Remember that Sergei Kovalev is probably 3 points up. He could well be 3 points up. He definitely won the last round 10-8, and he could have won the first round. So Andre Ward is now behind. Sergei Kovalev is in a groove. You have to break that cadence, you have to break that rhythm, you have to do something to turn the tide. You let Kovalev get on top of you now, that's it. Game could well be over. Right? So, you have to meet aggression with aggression. So, Andre Ward is there, they're both moving around in the start of the third round. Andre Ward is there. Now if you notice, Andre Ward loads up on the back foot, lures Kovalev in, loads up on the back foot and explodes into a jab. Ties Kovalev up and the fight, they're both broken up by the referee. Reset. Now the second punch, again, that Andre Ward throw is very, very significant. Andre Ward's there, puts his hands up in that high guard, shifts forward and then throws a right hand, hits Kovalev on the shoulder, and Andre Ward now continues that momentum forward, grabs hold of Kovalev and they both wrestle to the ground. Yeah? Tony Weeks breaks him up and says, enough of this bullshit, you know, want a clean fight. But Andre Ward has stopped the momentum. Now it gives him a little bit more time to start to make his adjustments, and adjustments he made. If you notice from then on, he didn't lose his position so much. He's not backing up in straight lines. He would step over, step off to the side. Kovalev's coming forward, he would step off more to the side. He would not back up in straight lines. He was backing up, he would then step over to the side. Again, not backing up in straight lines. And now he was gauging the distance, and he was starting to manage that distance much better between him and Kovalev. Now, like I said, he wasn't losing his position. When Kovalev was coming in, he was baiting the jab and now slipping underneath it and using his upper body to bob and weave and avoid punches rather than backing up. So he was keeping his position. And when he could slip those punches, he was landing some great body shots. Now, again, you're breaking the rhythm, you're breaking the cadence of Sergei Kovalev. The other thing, which again was very, very significant, was Andre Ward was never caught on the ropes. Once Kovalev was backing him up on the ropes, Andre Ward would go down. It's like an electric shock on Andre Ward's back. As soon as he touched those ropes, he would come down, feint to go left, feint to go right, and get away as fast as possible. Or, as Kovalev came in, he would go really low, crouch down, and come forward and grab Kovalev. Right? So again, great technique, because if you get caught on the ropes with Sergei Kovalev, it's not where you want to be, because he'll just keep you at that distance like he did with Bernard Hopkins and just tee off on you. All right? So Andre Ward is starting to make adjustments and having, as we said at the beginning, a big game plan. He's got the left hook, he's got the shifting footwork, he's now got the jabs to the body, which are working brilliantly. And slowly, slowly, he's starting to put into play all of his game plan.